Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Ajay Goyal. He's chairman at the Wheat Products Promotion Society. Mr. Goyal, hi. It's a busy day for you because the Food Secretary Sanjeev Chopra has been speaking for the last 10 and 15 minutes, and the major point that he's talking about clearly has been wheat. There have been various reports that wheat perhaps is in shortage. The government has not been able to procure enough, and imports perhaps is the only way going forward from there. I mean, it has been a lot of times, Mr. Goyal, that the government has been saying that there is no issues as it comes to wheat. And in turn, what they have done is that they've put stock limits in wheat now. Every Friday, all stakeholders will perhaps have to mandatorily show their stock. How are you reading into what the Food Secretary has been saying?
Right. So actually, it has been somewhat funny that, the government has been living in denial, almost claiming all over again that, we have sufficient to see the year through. And the shortages could be felt even in the last year, which went by. And in the current year, again, the government has fallen short of almost 10 million tons of its procurement target. So I think the earlier the government takes a call, the better it would be for the stability and availability of wheat in the country. And it is good that the government has taken notice and is planning to come out with some modifications in their existing policy. Although, wheat stock limit is something they are talking about, which really doesn't resolve the situation.
Mr. Goyal, when you look at let's take a step back, and when you look at the overall production itself, the industries and the government's production numbers did not match. There have been various conversations that perhaps the farmers are holding or the private trade has been holding as well. How much of, sense do you see in that?
No, definitely in the state of UP, we have seen that the, type of crop that was expected or predicted really didn't emerge during the procurement season. So definitely in UP, there is a lot of holding back of the crop with the farmer or with private trade, I guess. But in other states, especially Punjab and Haryana, government has swept and taken away whatever surplus was there. In MP, there is an issue of crop damage. And so it was not a preferred place to procure wheat by most traders. But I think there is only some crop held back in UP by the farmers, and that's why you see, UP has not contributed well to the central pool.
I quickly want to understand the language from the SECI here saying that the government has imposed stock limit on wheat to stop hoarding. Where do you see, and what's your sense on this hoarding?
So I really don't understand this word hoarding. You have one crop in a year of wheat, and any user or any processor would like to keep his supply chain assured, and for that he will definitely want to stock wheat, which is a precedence in almost every industry since we have only one crop of wheat. And by putting in these laws and limits, you really do not increase availability in the real sense. The crop size doesn't go up, the availability doesn't increase, and users will want to hedge their positions in a volatile situation and an unpredictable market. So I really think that the government was good enough with the weekly stock declaration policy, under which they were having a sense of the stock in the country with various users and stockists. That was good enough. And if they had to fix in a stock limit, it should have been little higher, so that there is enough room for free movement of wheat. Like if somebody wishes to buy 2 rake loads from a trader, it's almost impossible now if 3,000 tons is the limit. But in government, its wisdom has acted.
Mr. Goyal, I was actually coming to that. So 3,000 tons for wholesalers, 10 tons for a retailer, and 10 tons per outlet for big chain retailers as well. I'm assuming these are the D-Marts and the Reliance Freshes of the world. How are you looking at these numbers, and is that enough, giving the sense that wheat perhaps is the most bought staple diet across India?
No, so this is not a really good step. You really increase scarcity and people just run away from the supply chain as far as wheat is concerned. And so in the first month, people will be forced to offload. And then what happens in the rest of the month? You have, 8-9 months more to go. And where will the supply come from there at that time? And some people have to invest. Private trade has to invest in wheat, storage, and things like that. And if you drive them away, who has got the capacity to do that?
So, Mr. Goyal, I'm assuming that with the kind of specifications that the government has put out for wholesalers and retail, they would be holding more. As you said, they do hold more because they want a assured supply chain. Do we see then this wheat coming into the markets? Do you see an immediate supply increase? Do you see prices coming down?
So definitely there will be, for the fear of the government, there will definitely be some, moderation in the marketplace in the next month or so. But I guess, everybody has got the sense, so has the government, that, we do not have sufficient for the year. That's why government is still open to looking at the possibility of imports, keeping its options open. So this will definitely be, the users will have to cover the thing. So, but I guess after a month again, we will be in the same situation because supply will not have increased in the real sense.
All right. So if you were looking at wheat inflation and your roti prices were going higher, well, the government has acted on that. But as Mr. Goyal says, this is knee-jerk and a very near-term reaction. For the next month, perhaps the wheat inflation would come down. But later on, as the government itself said, that options are all open and import perhaps is on table as well. Mr. Goyal, as always, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about that wheat. And that was, of course, a flash that you could see on your screens onto that one as well. But with that, it's a wrap on Halftime Report. Business Lunch will take all the action ahead.